In today's special series on the Belt and Road, we explore the remarkable China-Laos Railway linking Vientiane and China's Yunnan province in Kunming. More than 400 global companies are participating in the Qingdao Multinational Summit to unlock new growth opportunities in the China market. Energy transition speeding up with data showing China's auto market accelerating towards a new energy future. Hello and welcome to Global Business here on CGTN. I'm Michelle Vandenberg in Beijing. Chinese President Xi Jinping inspected the city of Jiujiang in East China's Jiangxi province on Tuesday. He visited the Yangtze River National Cultural Park, learning about the ecological restoration of the Yangtze River shoreline. Construction of the park began in April last year, aiming to preserve the cultural heritage of the Yangtze River. Xi Jinping also visited the Jiujiang subsidiary of the Sinopec Oil and Petrochemical Company. He was told that the company is transforming and upgrading towards green development. Sinopec says it has promoted energy conservation, carbon reduction, and explored digitalization to accelerate green transformation. China's Belt and Road Initiative marks its 10th year this year. China's Foreign Ministry says the third Belt and Road Forum for International Cooperation will be held in Beijing on October 17th and 18th. President Xi Jinping will deliver a speech at the opening ceremony and host a banquet for foreign leaders and heads of international organizations attending the forum. As China's most globalized bank, the Bank of China has been using financial resources to promote the high-quality development of the initiative, according to a media briefing held in Beijing on Wednesday. Officials from the bank say the bank is the financial institution that's issued the most BRI-related bonds in the most diverse currencies. They also discuss innovations to financial services, further cooperation with multilateral financial institutions, and the green development of the initiative. According to the white paper on the BRI, under the framework, Chinese and foreign partners have launched over 20 multilateral dialogue and cooperation mechanisms in areas spanning railways, ports, energy, and finance, attracting a growing number of participants.
From 2013 to 2023, the Bank of China's overseas institutions have newly expanded to 26 countries, including 22 countries involved in the joint construction of the Belt and Road Initiative. So far, the Bank of China's overseas service network covers 64 countries and regions, including 44 BRI countries.
Over the past decade, 152 countries and 32 international organizations have signed up to the Belt and Road Initiative. As the BRI hits its 10-year mark, CGTN's reporters have traveled to 22 Belt and Road nations across Asia, Africa, Europe, and Latin America to uncover stories of cooperation, transformation, and people-to-people exchanges within the framework. Setting off from Kunming, capital of Yunnan province in southwest China, they headed to Bangladesh, Egypt, and Cambodia. In this episode, Feng Yilei ventures into Cambodia's fields, where rice cultivation has long been the backbone of the nation's economy. However, the country's rice industry has grappled with persistent challenges, causing sluggish sales of its premium rice and stunting the sector's growth. Join Feng Yilei as she unfolds the compelling story of a remarkable transformation in this industry.
As the harvest season arrives, the fertile land of Battambang, known as Cambodia's Rice Bowl, reveals its treasures. Here, farmers cultivate exquisite varieties of fragrant rice. However, in the past, the abundant rice harvest could often bring hollow joy to local farmers. They struggle to sell their produce at a decent profit or expand their market.
I hope the neighboring countries can buy more husk rice and milled rice in Cambodia to make our prices more competitive.
So we start from here and started as 1 hectare of land about 12 years ago. As of today, we have become one of the largest rice exporter and rice miller in Cambodia. So at the moment,
the growth of Andy Lei's business stands as a shining example of how Cambodia created new avenues for rice trade over the past decade. through its collaboration under the Belt and Road Initiative with China, the world's leading rice consumer. It's not only a 15-fold increase in the size of the factory, but also an enhancement in production capacity and sales volume. This transformation is a result of Andy's partnership with COFCO, China's largest food processor.
Oh, it has made a lot of changes. I mean, from the size, from the profit, and especially the sustainability. By working with COFCO, with consistent profits, so you know that when to expand, and you can plan, you can budget the expansion by knowing that the rice that you produce will be bought and consumed by the Chinese market. Your expansion will be worth the return of the investments.
It's also a shift from the general to the premium, with COFCO's branding support to enhance the reputation of Cambodian rice in a competitive local market. Andy's products are marketed under a brand that highlighted the unique taste and quality of Cambodian rice, appealing to discerning customers.
Under their suggestion and the guideline of how do we make not only the best but also consistent quality and quantity. We also working by the guideline, advancing the machinery, the technologies to provide the highest standard and to be in compliance with the international standard.
The impact is evident. China has emerged as the world's biggest importer of Cambodian rice.
Due to the upgrades of their machines, most rice millers can now produce a quality that meets China's standard specifications and increase their exports.
As for the future, Andy is planning to expand his processing business beyond merely conventional rice to other rice-related products.
We also hoping the volume from Cambodia as a whole will be increased and to play a role, one of the country that are able to secure and also reserve the food security to the world.
The farmers in the fields share the same hope to create higher added value.
I hope a lot of big investors will come to Cambodia.
The end of the raining season heralds the eagerly awaited harvest season for the renowned jasmine-fragrant rice, a source of pride for the national granary. And for local farmers, aspirations extend beyond this, yearning for a more comprehensive and advanced industrial chain, one that spans from the earth to the dining table, allowing them to reap greater rewards for their hard work. Feng Yilei, CGTN, Battambang in Cambodia.
Earlier, our correspondent Ryan Melzer embarked on a journey from the Laos capital Vientiane to the Chinese border via the China-Laos Railway. This impressive railway, spanning over 1,000 kilometers and connecting Vientiane to Kunming in China's Yunnan province, stands as a significant achievement within the Belt and Road Initiative. It has made substantial economic improvements along its route since its inauguration just 2 years ago.
Traveling at close to 160 kilometers an hour, passengers on the China-Laos Railway can go from the capital, Vientiane, to the UNESCO World Heritage Town of Luang Prabang in just 2 hours, to the border with China in 4. That's a huge transformation for a country with such poor roads and difficult terrain.
The railway has enabled people to move along the corridor quickly, comfortably, and safely. It has created jobs and business, especially for hotels, restaurants, and tourism and mining-related industries. That has in turn increased government tax collections.
Just on the Laos side of the border, what used to be an isolated village is turning into a rapidly growing special economic zone, driven by interest from China. To the southwest, Chinese investors growing produce for export to China are enjoying shorter shipping times and lower costs thanks to the railway, in turn drawing more investors. The southbound passenger service currently ends a few kilometers from the border with Thailand, but the freight service continues on.
Many of the goods arriving at our station come from China. Some are used here in Laos, while others are destined for Thailand. We also receive goods from Thailand, Singapore, and Malaysia. which are transported through this railway to China.
The railway is bringing much needed skills training and job opportunities for locals.
My income is good. The job has helped me a lot. It's allowed me to help my parents with daily expenses and my brother with his tuition fees.
For local and foreign commuters, tourists and business people, the railway is greatly easing travel to places that used to require costly flights or daunting drives.
International development agencies long talked about the need to try to turn Laos's geographical location to its advantage, going from being landlocked to land-linked. It seemed a lofty ambition.
The China-Laos Railway seems to be rapidly making that goal a reality. Ryan Meltzer, CGTN, Vientiane.
Now, for more on China's effort on international cooperation, let's bring in Liu Zhiqin, Senior Fellow at Renmin University's Chongyang Institute for Financial Studies. Professor Liu, thank you for coming on the show. So, what role do Chinese financial institutions play in the Belt and Road Initiative, and how has the initiative impacted their business development?
I should say that Chinese financial institutions played a very important and significant role in the BRI initiative. First function, as I always mention, that the Chinese financial or Chinese banks play like a bodyguard. They really played like a project guard because they are not only the money supply, but also they help the companies and the project manager to supervise all these projects, whether they are in a safe position, how to go feasibility study, how to forward this operation of this project. So I should say the first function of the Chinese financials are really like a bodyguard to make the security of the project. And secondly, these financial institutions from China always play like a pavers. Like pavers that when we build a road, build any infrastructures, how to pave the way without any obstacles. So in this way, that is quite important because all these projects in BRI initiative, they need to know where is the risk, where there are troubles existing. So Chinese financial institutions, as I know, that they played many roles, not only as the loan supply or money supply, they helped in all round, in all kinds of fields to help the BRI initiative to be further developed in a safe way.
Yeah, I like the metaphors. Now, can we discuss the progress made in the past decade regarding cooperation and exchanges between China and Belt and Road countries in the specifically agricultural sector?
I should say the agricultural sector is so important for all these developing countries. As we know, the Belt and Road Initiative countries are mainly agriculture basis. So the main industry or infrastructure of the economic structure in all countries. So agriculture cooperation between China and the local areas that is so important because China has also many advanced technology to develop its agricultural products and also have a new technology to help this fertilizing, for instance, crops and grains, how to grow in a safe way. So with these local conditions, we can have very close cooperation in secure this food supply. For instance, how to make a better quality of this grains and crops and agricultural product in the local nations. Because as we know, along the Belt and Road Initiative, there are many different agricultural products, and they can be used as a good export goods to China and to anywhere else, and also between the different countries along the road. So in this way, that the agriculture sections played also a very important role because this is the first fundamental basis to improve the living standard of the local people. It's very easy for the people to get a better life or a high quality life. From the agriculture section, is very basic, is a very unique function that can play between China and other countries.
Definitely. Cambodia and Laos are also both participating in the Belt and Road Initiative, but also being members of ASEAN. So how would you characterize China's influence within ASEAN?
That's true that Cambodia and Laos can play a very good example as a showcase to other ASEAN countries. ASEAN countries also have similar culture background and agriculture industry problems and advantages. So in this way, Laos and Cambodia, before years that they cannot develop the industrial economic so in a very efficient way. But with the BRI initiative, these two countries developed fast in a very quick way, and also with the high quality development, not only with the high speed railway, but the high quality development including smart technology, people's exchange and culture exchange, also increased the education level. So all round of this field have been improved only by BRI initiative. So this is really a very good showcase to other countries to build up two things. One, confidence. The second, joint efforts. They know if they try to do things, to take actions, they were so well developed like China, like Cambodia, like Laos and other countries. So we should also build up such a showcase to all countries that make all these countries in a common prosperity development.
Great point. Thank you so much. Always great to have you on the show. Liu Zhiqing, Senior Fellow at Renmin University's Chongyang Institute for Financial Studies. You're watching Global Business, still to come. More than 400 global companies are participating in the Qingdao Multinational Summit to unlock new growth opportunities in the China market.
We're stepping out of the studio to take you on a brand new journey along the Belt and Road.
With a mission to record how the initiative has changed lives and livelihoods.
We travel to over 20 countries.
Division Deportacji Almaty, Kazakhstan. À Dubaï, aux Émirats Arabes Unis. Desde las calles de Rio de Janeiro. للمشاريع في Dhaka, Bangladesh. We document not only infrastructure along the Belt and Road countries, but also cultural links that bound the community with a shared future. Stories of how they promote growth and improve lives.
We invite you
only on our special series of the New Silk Road.
The fourth Qingdao Multinational Summit has opened in eastern China's Shandong province, where participants have been sharing insights on the future of global cooperations in the Chinese market. Zhou Yixin has the details.
Multinational corporations are key players in the global economy, and they've witnessed firsthand China's decades-long transformation through reform and opening up. On Wednesday, representatives from more than 400 multinational companies gathered in Qingdao to discuss ways to sustain mutually beneficial cooperation. Attending guests say China has always maintained an open, inclusive, cooperative, and win-win attitude towards multinational companies. They say to promote the future development of multinationals, China will have to create a more favorable business environment and continue opening up. Chinese government officials publicly reaffirmed their commitment to openness and inclusivity for multinational corporations.
This year marks the 45th anniversary of China's reform and opening up. China will persist in promoting high-level opening up to the world, always upholding the spirit of openness, inclusiveness, and win-win cooperation with multinational companies. We will promote Chinese-style modernization with high-quality development and provide new opportunities for cooperation with other countries.
Chinese government officials also stressed the importance of reducing barriers to foreign investment, enhancing the business environment, making sure multinational corporations benefit from preferential policies, and establishing effective communication channels to better support the development of multinationals in China. Representatives from multinational companies praised such policies.
The government has done a lot over the last years in terms of opening up, creating transparency, protecting intellectual property. So I think there's a lot that actually happened, and for us as a multinational company, we obviously benefit from it.
The promotion of green, low-carbon and high-quality development was another hot topic Wednesday. Attendees say multinational corporations should play a role in promoting sustainable development across the world. They emphasized the importance of seizing opportunities for green development and research in China, as well as the use of sustainable technologies. 周一星 CGTN 青岛山东 Province.
Now, to get people's views on the China market, we spoke with a number of participants at the multinational summit today. Take a listen.
This is what I observed, and this is what I heard from the China, from my MNC friends, colleagues, and clients, particularly when they compare China as an investment destination to other countries like in the Southeast Asia, like in the Europe, like in the South America. Those are the elements that they're assessing, and they think that Chinese are ahead of most of the countries.
现在呢，中国并不是仅仅是一个制造大国。
It's crucial to acknowledge that China has transformed from being solely a manufacturing powerhouse to a leader in innovation with massive markets. Notably, the Chinese market has become Panasonic's second largest, surpassing all others except Japan. This highlights its paramount importance. Even in the face of recent global changes, Panasonic's confidence in China remains unwavering.
China's electric vehicle sales continued their strong performance in September, according to recent data from the Industrial Association. Our Wang Tianyu has the story.
In China's auto industry, Golden September and Silver October are used to describe the two most popular months for buying cars. The reasons behind this are complicated. Two national holidays falling close together, end-of-quarter dealer promotions, the back-to-school season, and even the cooling temperatures are all contributing factors.
So far in this year's Golden September and Silver October, the performance of the entire Chinese auto market is relatively good. Both traditional fuel vehicle sales and new energy vehicle sales have seen strong yearly growth.
According to the China Passenger Car Association, or CPCA, retail sales of China's passenger cars reached over 2 million in September, marking a 4.7% annual jump. Sales of new energy vehicles, or NEVs, showed more significant increases. In the same month, almost 750,000 new energy vehicles were sold, which is 22% higher than September last year.
Throughout September, the customer flow in this store was very large. Compared with the same period last year, it increased around 30%. In terms of sales, there was a 40% jump. The customers coming to our store are generally families. They prefer large models such as SUVs.
China is the world's biggest NEV market. The country has been accelerating toward an electric and plug-in future for many years. But during the process, something has changed slightly.
The development of NEVs in China is basically driven by market forces now. Consumers are the main promoters. Since the government subsidies came to an end last year, there are basically no more new stimulus policies from the government side. Now, NEV development relies more on the market itself.
In the first half of 2023, 3.65 million China-produced new energy vehicles were sold. This makes up more than 60% of that of the global market. It also marks a yearly increase of almost 50%. The CPCA predicts a total of 8.5 million new energy cars will be sold in 2023, roughly equal to everyone in the city of New York buying a new car. Wang Tianyu, CGTN, Beijing.
Lord Adair Turner, chairman of the Energy Transitions Commission, recently sat down with CGTN anchor Guan Xin for a wide-ranging of discussions on global financial stability and the need for more concerted actions on climate change.
The absolute core of what we did after 2008 was insist that the banks had to have more equity capital, more liquidity, that we could monitor their risks more closely. And I think, as I say, that has. And as we say in English, I will touch wood, but I'm not sure there is any wood here. A touch wood as reassure myself that what I'm saying is right. That has stood the test of time. And I think it will stand the test of time, that we have a global banking system which can deal with the emerging risks of the world without it threatening the stability of the overall system. Now, are there problems in particular environments? Yes, there are. The period of high interest rates after very low interest rates, of course, exposes problems from individual institutions which had been taking risks. Again, there's another famous saying, when the tide goes out, you see who has been swimming naked. And in a sense, when the interest rates go up for the first time in 10 years, you see who's been taking unreasonable risks with very low interest rates. So we've seen that in particular institutions, and I'm sure we'll see more of it. But I'm fairly confident that we will not see a global financial crisis on anything like the scale that we saw in 2008.
What is your view on some government using industrial policies to encourage the development of the green industries and its impact on global trade?
We live in a world where we have to have policies to develop the technologies of the future. And broadly speaking, there are two categories of policies. There are carbon pricing policies, and there are categories of subsidy, right? You've got to balance here the absolute primary global necessity of dealing with climate change, right? We will now have this EU inquiry into Chinese EV. We'll see what comes out of that. But what I would say is, whatever comes out of that, it shouldn't stand in the way of the transfer and the beneficial flow of ideas. What is very clear to me is that the Chinese electric automotive companies have developed skills and scale, particularly in developing smaller EV cars, and we need to be able to benefit from that in Europe, because at the moment we have a danger in Europe that our major EV companies are focusing on the high end, but we need EVs for the masses, for ordinary people at affordable prices. And if those are being produced more cheaply in China, we need to access that capability, even if the way to access it is to encourage them to build factories in Europe rather than necessarily to import them.
The World Bank's new chief Ajay Banga said China has been a constructive partner of the bank, and China's experiences in debt development can be learned by others. Banga made the comments on the second day of the annual meetings of the World Bank and the International Monetary Fund in Marrakesh, Morocco. In the meantime, Banga said the higher for longer interest rate environment created by the US Fed, the European Central Bank, and others worries the bank, and there could be negative spillover effects in countries with large debts. Banga's remarks came after China announced it has reached a tentative debt deal with Sri Lanka, paving the way for the South Asian country to obtain loans from the IMF. That's according to China's foreign ministry on Tuesday. And that will do it for this edition of Global Business here on CGTN. I'm Jia Vandenberg in Beijing. Thank you for watching. Bye for now.